Hi, yeah, thank you for having us again. I guess I have to tell you, I really like this t-shirt, but don't take me wrong, there are many others who have it. It was actually a present from Christoph Ostermann, who gave it to the board members, advisory board members of Sonnen almost 1 year before the great exit. And it's actually one of the great moves from Christoph to keep the alignment among the investors and shareholders before the exit, which is actually very, very crucial. So you may remember last year I came with this message that we all should believe in the existence and importance of the soul of the winner. And today it's kind of simple for me because I'm coming back to you to report the soul of the winner exists. And I'm going to talk about this Sonnen Shell deal, which is actually great news for all of us in this room because these transactions go far beyond making a couple of venture capitalists like us happy. It could be the defining moment that Matthias said this morning for the overall clean tech industry if we learn from this deal, share it together, and then hand in hand co-invest with you guys, startups in the room. But let's start from the beginning. Why so many startups fail? What's the reason behind the successful ones like Sonnen, for instance? And how can we investors pick the future winners in the first place? Look, the statistic is pretty simple here. It says it's the timing, right, as the key factor of a success. But if you think about it and accept it, it's not right because we cannot control timing, obviously, and we would be playing casino, and that's not why we are, as a venture capitalist, in the business. So it has to be something more, and that's what we call soul of the winner. Now, when we pitch soul of the winner, we do lots of crazy stuff like this thing, this pyramid, and it actually has a couple of interesting messages for all of us. First of all, if you look at the foundations, it's about the founders' culture and values they bring into the business from day one, and the fundamentally right assumption behind the business model and product, backing the big, meaningful vision. It's about trust as well. Look, this pyramid will fall apart if these guys don't trust each other. And when we talk about trust from a soul of the winner perspective, we go far beyond the startup itself. It's not only about trust between the founders and the managers and the employees. It's important, but it has to be about the whole value chain the startup is embedded in, like the customers or suppliers, your future investors. Because if you think about it, it could be your customer who can save you during the difficult times of bad timing decision. It could be your supplier who will help you to refinance your working capital, and it will be your next investor or current investor who are going to bridge you when you actually need the money for future growth. So it goes far beyond the startup itself. And last but not least, look at the faces. I think these guys enjoy what they are doing. And it's really about a positive energy. And if Christoph Ostermann was very good at something, it was about his enormous positive energy in the difficult times, because the only thing we can actually guarantee you is the adventure without guaranteed success. So let's come back to this transaction. This is a big deal. We still can't disclose the big number here, but it's not like a big guy buying small, made in German technology stumble from Wilport Street. It's a big transaction everybody wrote about. And I really like what actually Richard Youngman said. It could be a clean tech netscape moment if we allow it to happen. And I think he's right, because it's the leader who acquired the leader. And I think we all agree that Sonnen was about synonym of creativity and scale up, and some call them Facebook of energy or the largest virtual power plant. You name it. And Shell actually, it's not about it. This is the largest oil and gas company in the world. But what we liked about Shell is that they decided to stop trying to guess how the future is going to look like, which is always a never-ending discussion, and decided to define their own future they truly believe in. And look at what they did. Since 2016, you see 9 very interesting acquisition they did. And this is just a beginning, Sonnen being part of the growth story. And they are not alone. And there's a good reason that this is going to really continue, because the pressure is here. Oil prices are under pressure. The share prices of oil companies are under pressure as LPs are asking their GPs who invest into these public companies to report back about the clean tech footprint or CO2 footprint, etc. And the others are following Shell and the acquisition in all verticals like intermittent generation, energy storage, advanced metering, etc. So this is just a beginning, and that's why I believe it can grow fast. So if I can summarize what Christoph taught us, is if you dream big in the first place, execute big. You have a chance to meet the big guy, make a big exit, and eventually make a big impact, which is the overall goal of the startups. So the question is, how big is big, and what should need to be in place if you want to have a great exit like IPO or big M&A transaction? It starts with the growth. The growth is important from the perspective that it tells your investors that the new customers are buying from you, existing ones are buying more, and churn is okay. So you better have pretty good growth. Now, growth is good, but growth at a higher level and a higher scale is even more important. And we all know how important and how difficult it is to grow the company at the larger scale. Now, cash on balance sheet in a bank is actually important. Don't underestimate to have enough runway to negotiate, even when it comes to exit or next financing round. You don't want to be under stress. The path to profitability is key. You don't need to be profitable, but the key milestone needs to be in place. You better be, targeting larger than smaller markets, because investors kind of like that you achieve your top line, not necessarily owning 50% of the market. They don't want to invest in one product only. If it fails, they are a little bit nervous. They want to have more future product already in pipeline, so there's a diversification in place. Healthy economics, great leadership. And here I would actually stress the trust your great leadership should create within the financing industry or corporate industry. Don't wait till the last moment before you want to make exit. Try to create better understanding in this area already at the beginning of your journey. So what has Sonnen achieved? Christoph talked about it, 10 years in a row. That's a long years. Lots of things happening to the founders. New marriages, maybe new kids. Everything is changing. This is a long journey, and you have to back them. They have been growing actually tremendously. They raised tons of money, and since we invested, most of the money was raised from external investors. And what is important, they picked from day one very strong co-investors who bridged them and helped them to raise the capital till the last moment. They grow the company globally. It wasn't a local, regional play. They grown the company from 200 to 600 people, and you can imagine how different it is to manage 50 or 100 or 600. They backed them with a strong management team, all very specific task. Hermann Schweitzer cutting the cost down, Oliver scaling the company in Australia if needed, Philip Schroeder making sure that everybody loved Sonnen, and sales was a very important critical success factor. Jean-Baptiste was able to speak to the corporates and grid operators and make sure that the VPP was actually created, and Stefan make sure there's enough money in the bank. In 10-year history, they made 10 versions, literally one version of their product every year, and they cut the cost down. They moved from hardware play toward a system solution, hardware service, software service solution. So pretty long journey. So there's a question for you guys, startups in the room. If Sonnen can make it, can you make it too? And the only answer is yes, we can. Not like maybe. That's the mindset we are looking for, because you need to balance the dreaming part with the realist and the critic part in your room. You need to have all three, but too often, specifically here in Europe, the dreamer are taken over by critics and realists. So sometimes we just have to allow ourselves to dream big, like Christoph did, and celebrate this great transaction and celebrate the future winners. And here I would like to invite my fellow co-investors from Inven on the stage to perform very special song we borrowed from New Zealand, which is about winning the battle against your own fears of dreaming big.
to Maori tradition and people. Hoppe! Vai vai takahia!
Tini poutin kiterua rere ha. Awakapa kiterua rere. This is for Christoph and everybody. Jan, it's for you as well. Tak to vem, to dělej, ale ten. Do you want to take a picture with us?
Yeah, okay.
Jan always wants to take a picture with us, so we give him a chance. Happy birthday, Jan!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Oh, sorry.
You smart.
We'll clean it, we will clean it.
Okay, when? Okay. Okay, my nice green stage. Okay.
That was colorful, right?